Back again with another video. This video was actually made about disposal of altar items after ceremonies. There's 3 different ways I know of to dispose of items, I guess, if you want to. Say for candles. After your candles burn down on your altar, you can take them to a crossroad and try to put them back in a brown paper bag and take them to a crossroads. I understand that a lot of people live in metropolitan areas that can't be done. If you know of a crossroad somewhere in your city or your town that's quiet where you ain't gonna get out and have a lot of people watching you or calling the police saying that you are littering, you can leave it at the crossroads, preferably at night. Your candles, your glass casings for your novena candles when they burn down. If you have food offerings, you can put those in there. A lot of people ask me about how long for the food offerings. That you'll have to determine for yourself. If you got fresh fruit and stuff like that as offerings, I suggest no longer than a week. Keep an eye on it. Don't let it get all moldy and nasty. You know, get rid of the stuff. Some of the spirits require different things. Some of my spirits I use raw meat. That's only for 24 hours. You lay it there. The next day you got to take it out and dispose of it. I mean, you can't let that shit sit there. It's raw. I mean, people ask me about if you cook the food. If you want to, that's cool. I mean, you have to understand that they don't eat the food. The spirits take the energy out of the food. I prefer raw food. There's more energy and you're not cooking anything out of it. And it gets kind of complicated when you're offering here in Louisiana, say in New Orleans, red beans and rice and stuff like that to one of the spirits. That can get kind of complicated, cooking all that for an altar. I've been asked, do you take it out the box or you leave it in the box? Preferably I take mine out the box, mix it together in a big bowl, and present the bowl as an offering. It makes it easier for disposal after, once again, to the crossroads. If you don't have a crossroad, you can put it in a bag and dispose of in a trash dumpster, wherever you live at, your apartment, your condo, your house. You put it in your trash can. Just do it respectfully. They understand that. Some offerings now that you're working with some of the spirits, like the gay day, that's a little bit more trickier. You might have to go to the crossroads with that, find a crossroad at night that you can put it at, or leave the offering itself instead of on your altar, leave it in the graveyard itself. And I explained to y'all about how to do that. I'm not sure about small towns and cities, but in metropolitan areas, New Orleans and places like that, the bigger graveyards, there'll be a large white cross almost in the middle of the cemetery. That is the location of the gay day, Baron Samedi, Baron Lacroix. You can leave your offerings there. A tree. If there's a big tree in a lot of cemeteries, there's usually trees. You can leave it at the tree. Don't bury it in by a tomb or a coffin or something like that. Just leave it in one of those 2 places that I just said. Like I said, most of the cemeteries have large crosses. Big white crosses, you can't miss them. That's where you go to for your offerings and your work if you're doing with the gay day, Baron Samedi, or one of the barons. For the rest of them, say originally Freda, Ogun Fare could be left, his offerings could be left at the railroad tracks, okay? Everybody got railroad tracks, okay? I don't care if you live in a metropolitan area or in the smallest Mayberry towns in the United States. You can leave that at the railroad tracks. There's some could be taken to the waters, rivers, lakes, ponds, and be disposed of. Just watch how you dispose of it. I mean, just don't throw it in there like trash and just be floating all over the place. Kind of have some respect for it. If you want to do it like that, put it in a large Ziploc bag and kind of weigh the bag down a little bit more. If you're using novena candles, the glass case candles, that'll add some weight to it. But try to weigh it down where it sinks into the water and it floats on top of the water like trash. Burning of some things, I guess it could be done. I don't see the reason behind it. I mean, if you got a place to burn stuff, I mean, why? I mean, if you got access to that, you have access to crossroads and waterways and stuff. So I mean, I usually don't do that. But I mean, disposal is what you do with it respectfully. If it's just the offerings of your altar work of candles and the offerings of the food, that can be done, like I said, the crossroads, the waterways, railroad tracks, if you're doing to Ogu. Earthly Freda could be done at the waterways and stuff like that. Agwe, same thing. It all depends who you're working with. Just be respectful. If you're working with Papa Legba, of course, at the crossroads. Just be respectful about it and what you're doing. If you don't have any of those places, then yes, I mean, your only alternative would be your trash can or trash dumpster. I know in Santeria, not to step out my bounds, but I know when you make offerings to Ilegua, whatever's left goes outside for Eshu. Okay, that's cool. That's not done in Voodoo, but I mean, I guess it'd be basically saying that you're taking the offering and putting it in the trash. You know, I never really thought of that. I mean, why would you, not in Santeria, but why would you leave the offering outside the trash can? But that's Santeria, so I'm not delving into that. But as far as Voodoo, that's the 3 ways I know of: the crossroads, the railroad tracks, waterways, and worst get to worst, I mean, if you're just in a metropolitan city, in your trash can, I mean, it can be done like that. That's cool. Just be respectful about it if it has to be done like that. I mean, the spirits understand, and basically you're not doing anything to disrespect them. You've already provided your offering to them to make them happy, to feed them their energy, things like that. Ave was asked about when you're serving libations such as rum, whiskey, and things like that, gin. That doesn't have to be disposed of like that. That could be just disposed in a regular manner for, you know, glass. I mean, you don't want to throw glass around. It should be broken all over the highway and shit. So there's certain things on your altar, the food that you offer, the candles, and things like that. Just be respectful. Like I said, if you can't find crossroads, I leave mine at several places in the city. I mean, I got crossroads I work with. There's certain places in this city that's infused with certain powers and energies that I can break my work down and dispose them in different areas. Okay? Like I said, if you're working with Gay Day or Baron Sandin, you have an altar with him, he works with you, and your altar's straight, you're not getting any flack from working with him, go to the cemetery and leave it at the cross like I told you. You don't have to leave it at your house if you want to do it like that. It's respectful to do that too at the cemetery. Just make sure that you pay the cemetery respects when you go into it, as always. But it's not that much about disposal. It's just respect in it, where you put it. There's times when you have breads, like for Papa Legba and other luau's, you offer bread and different cakes and stuff like that. You can actually let that go and take it, crumble it up, and bring it outside and let the birds eat it. I mean, that's a respectful way of doing that also. So there's many ways of doing it, respectful. It's just you gotta watch how you do it and how you do it respectfully, where you don't get anything upset or to work against you. Just keep that in mind, and everything should be all right. Just like I said, just be respectful and remember what you're doing, and everything should be all right. That's about the only ways I know how to dispose of your offering work. Now, it's different with your work that's going on at your altar. That's a whole different animal. If you have to dispose of your work, I'm not really here to tell you that. That should be something you already should know. And if you don't know it, maybe you want to get with somebody and find out about it, because everything may be doing all fine and stuff. You're making your offerings and all that, and your work doing fine. But when it's time to get rid of your work, to dispose of it, and you do it wrong, You know, there's a chance it'll blow your work will manifest back onto you, or nothing will happen, or you know, they may get upset with you and take their vengeance out on you. So that's a whole different animal. I'm not gonna get into that. You ought to know that. And if you don't, you really need to reach out with somebody and get with them about it. I can't put this on video, on air, I can't. But getting rid of just simple offerings and stuff like that. The crossroads, the waterways, railroad tracks. If you in a place where you got wooded areas, bayous and swamps, that's also a good place. Doesn't matter what low you're working with. I mean, it goes back to nature. So I just want to make this quick video because I was asked about disposal of offerings. I hope it made sense. I hope I answered some questions. And leave the comments if I had anything open, and I'll get back with y'all. And as always, like, share, and subscribe.